Hello my friends! We are going to take a look at the Drake Vulture. This awesome beast is, well, 100% for salvaging. And I gotta say, I don't know. This ship produced probably some of the funnest gameplay I have had in a long time. Now, I like cargo running. Keep that in mind. I really do like cargo running. But something about salvaging has just this relaxing sensation to it. So let's get taken off and we're going to head out of the area here. We're at area 18. And this beauty looks a little bit like a tuning fork. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It kind of looks like a tuning fork. But even though it looks a little funny, this particular ship is really awesome. I love the fact that it can store or collect the material off of a ship and then transfer it into SCUs that you can move around. So we're going to just buy a claim here. That was a rather expensive claim, but that should be able to get the point across. Now let's head over to the claim. It's over here at Arc 1. Now you do want to pay attention to when you get a claim. Yeah, there's different prices, and which means there's different sizes of ships. Yeah, I see the 1,000 to 5,000 range being almost guaranteed that you're going to get 1 to 3 SCUs of cargo, and then obviously the higher you go, the more SCUs of cargo you're likely to get. And one thing you kind of want to pay attention to is where it's going to be, because, you know, I was in Area 18. Arc 1 is the closest place that I would be able to go and salvage the ship. So that being said, I have accidentally picked up claims that were all the way across the system from here, and it made it for just a little bit longer for trying to get to the claim, do all the salvaging, and then get to a planet that I wanted to sell at, which for the most part I really do like selling at Area 18. I ought to try this in the Microtech area because I think maybe it might be a little bit easier to use that very quick entryway at Microtech, but I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to play with that particular aspect. Now, I am flying this on the free fly event that's going on until the 17th, which is really only 2 days from now, and I think I'm gonna buy this ship. Quite literally, this was a fun enough gameplay. I think it's something I want to have in my arsenal for... Whoa, what did I do? Oh, I put on... I'm getting close to the ship, and I have it targeted, and I hit my landing gear, which automatically started the docking procedures. That's hilarious. But here, what I did was I tapped M, and now I'm firing, technically, at the ship. I want to go get a little bit closer. As you can see, it says out of range, so I'm not close enough to be able to start this. But if I hold my left Alt key and then I use the scroll wheel, I can actually spread these cutters around. And then if I click, I think it's right click, you right click or left click, and it will switch the direction to vertically spread apart versus horizontally spread apart. And then you just start sweeping across the hull of these ships. And it's called hull scraping, which is not a bad thing. It's almost like an art, because one of my friends has a really cool game. It's called Power Wash Simulator, and this is almost like Power Wash Simulator, but in space, or cleaning off a ship. You basically are going to try to decoat the entire spaceship of its outer hull, and you get resources from this, which means you're definitely getting something for almost nothing. Now, I've sped up the footage a little bit so that we can get to the ejection. You can see that things are flashing, and I stopped firing. It will auto-eject the first canister, or the first SCU unit of salvage for you, and then you keep on going, and you need to climb out of the seat when you get to the second one. So we're going to scrape this a little bit more and get to that second SCU. And let's go to the cargo hold. Here we go. We're almost there. And boom. Now, just as a heads up, the all-in-all effort to try to scrape down this craft took a little bit less than an hour. But I did run into some problems, which you'll see in just a second. So as we go in here, this is not supposed to happen. Your SCU, your two SCUs here should be, only one should be visible right where I'm trying to grab. And for some odd reason, I cannot get this one item. It's like it's not there. It actually should be back there into the back area where it was being compressed and put into these boxes. So what I had to do, like I tried poking around in it, trying to make sure that I wasn't just bugged out or something like that, and that it wasn't the server. And it took me a moment to realize, you know, this might be something where I have to turn in the ship, or not turn in the ship, but put the ship into storage, then pull the ship back out, and it might jostle the memory of what's going on here to work properly. So let's go land it and land the Vulture, and we'll store it and then pull it back out. So yeah, you know, the funny thing about this particular craft is because those two pieces are sticking so far out, it is kind of hard to tell where you are in relation to those. So yeah, we're just gonna quickly turn this in, not turn in, but store it. It's fascinating how many ships they allowed in the free fly event this time, because there's a lot. So we checked it back out. Let's go see if the cargo has fixed itself. And we'll just get the door open here and go in, and yes, it's not there. Okay, so now, because of the second one, we would normally have to push eject. And we're gonna put this over the corner. We're gonna collect a lot of salvage today. And here comes this box. Now we'll just close this because we're going to launch right after this. And there we go. That's what we wanted. Okay. So I'm going to put that away. Let's get back to the salvage. It's kind of an interesting ship. It is 2 decks technically, but I mean, you have a little room, a quote-unquote bathroom, and just a few doors. I've already heard a few people complain about the multi-deck concept of this, but I'm okay with it. Again, Star Citizen was not designed to be like a fast game. This is a game where it's trying to almost be like real life. Like, it would take a moment to get from point A to point B. It's like driving on the freeway or something like that. So the fact that a bigger ship like this takes a moment to get maybe into the cockpit, I don't know. I think I'm okay with that. So you can see, just very carefully, and this is again sped up, 400% speed. It is interesting because it does take a little while to get through all the various pieces. You can see there's stuff that I can't collect or scrape from, like those fuel tanks that the ship would have had. And you do kind of want to pay attention to when the box above your targeting reticule flashes, because I think it will keep scraping the hull, but there's gonna be nothing collected because the stores are full. So this is relatively relaxing because, I mean, you gotta, basically you're doing sweeping motions. It's really fun. Now, one of the things that is a little bit confusing to me is it seems like the lights for the Vulture are not very effective. So even though I could turn on the headlights of the Vulture, it doesn't actually seem to light up anything in front of me very much. I think if it was really, really, really dark, you would see a little bit of change in lightness, but it seems like for the most part it's not that great. Like, if I'm not too mistaken, my lights are, no, they're not currently on, because you'd be able to see them right at the end of the 2 tuning fork pieces. So especially with the stark contrast of space lighting, it is a little bit difficult sometimes to see where you might have missed a spot on the hull, and I don't know, that could be problematic for some people. That could be very demotivating for others. But if you systematically just go through it, you can see, like, in the top right of our main area, we have like how much hull strength is left, and that's a good indicator for how much material is left on the ship for you to be able to you know, scrape off and pick up. So, like, I'm taking the time to not cut these scraping moments because you can see kind of the pattern of what you get used to doing in this. It's just the simple passes and making sure that you're trying to get kind of crossover enough that you're able to pick up more of the material. Now, right here on the left and right, watch as I stop firing for just a moment and I right click and it switches to a different system. The other system is a slightly wider beam but slightly less efficient. So it's kind of pick and choose depending on what you are willing to do on your how much material you want to collect. The larger one is going to be a little bit faster. Faster means less efficient, so you know it's kind of one of those pick your own adventures on that. You will change those by right-clicking on your mouse. You can probably set up the keybinds to do it for you, but it's simple enough. So that's all the controls you really need to be aware of. Like, other than that, you're basically just using your lateral and vertical thrusters to just pan back and forth, and you choose a distance from the ship that seems comfortable to you, and you can get this done. Like, you can see, wow, since we started collecting this, we've got, what, 8 or 10 SCUs of cargo? And for the fun of it, I've heard some rumors that if you put stuff in the walkway next to your cargo grid, you might not be able to sell things. So let's continue collecting material until we have maybe, what, 3 or 4 or 5 extra. The total cargo grid of this is 12 units. So this is units 9 and 10 that we just pulled out. And so we're just a few more units away from getting this. And it's, like I said, I'm really excited about this because this is a really fun craft to fly. It does have 2 Bulldog repeaters on it. I don't know its true capacity for dogfighting. It's probably not very good, as its main role is to do exactly what we're doing right now. It's hull scraping, it's salvaging. If you were, I have heard instances where people have really been just on the unlucky day where there's been a lot of pirates on the server and they happen to be roving around and they find you and they just destroy your ship, take your cargo, and run off with it. It's a little bit frustrating. So this is a gameplay that may be fun to have a couple of fighter friends kind of watching your back. Additionally, I've wondered if it might be fun to have a couple of cargo friends who would show up. You would open up like the tailgate of the ship and they would unload your cargo into theirs, go sell it, and then come back and help you just stay on site. Because truthfully, once we fill up here, there's nothing I can do. I since I'm alone right now in the game, I gotta just go sell it off, and I may or may not have enough time to go back to this salvage and finish salvaging it. Like you can see, we've gotten a full cargo. We're technically full, and we have only collected maybe, what, 40% of the available surface area of this ship. That's pretty intense. So the 50,000 credit claims are actually really, really valuable. I want to say that on average it seems like 1 SCU of the salvage material will sell for somewhere between 6,000 to 7,000 credits. I'm not exactly aware of the exact numbers, but we'll take a look at it. So here we are. It looks like we glitched again, and I'm wondering what's going to happen with that other SCU. Well, we're just going to... Oh, well, fine. It's just going to be there. Okay. We're just going to stuff a couple of these in the side here, and let's go get 2 more, and then we'll just go sell. So here we go. Just collect off. And it's weird because there are moments where you get a lot of material really fast. And then there's other moments where it takes a long time. So we're going to go to the wide scraper. You can see it's got a larger diameter, and it bakes really fast. Like you can, oh geez, this is fun. But since I'm pretty much done and I have to leave after this particular session of scraping, I was like, okay, we're just going to collect as much as we can. We'll ditch the efficiency and work with it from there. Let's see, all we need is a little bit more. And there we go. We're nice and full. So I'm going to set up my coordinates to go back to Area 18 and sell off our stuff. You can put away the scraper tools by tapping M. It's easy peasy. Not N as in Nancy, but M as in Michael or Michelangelo. You know. Anyway, so here we are. We're going to go sell off the stuff. And this was where I was kind of surprised. There's 2 different segregations of this. We had 4 extra cargo units. And 3 show up. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll take the extra 3. That's good. I can handle that. And then we have the 12 cargo units that were inside the grid. So let's sell those off. And as a reminder, I started out with 248,000 credits. So we sell off all this stuff. Let's take a look at what we get. Data comes in. That's not exactly accurate because it takes a while or that one doesn't update really well. And look at that. Now we're at 364,000. That's a little over 100,000 gain with some deductions. I mean, we paid 50,000. Now, look at this little interface. You got this other tab here. If you have a little bit of salvage, you can produce some of these items. Now, you're not going to get quite as good a deal as just buying them or finding them, but at least you have that as an emergency. Hey, I scraped the holes, and I have no way of moving the SCUs around in my system. So you could build a multi-tool and the tractor beam attachment. I don't know if that's going to stick around, but hang on. Wait a minute. That said eject. Let's try this. There's that last one. So it would appear that you need to pull all of your... You can't have anything not ejected in the system. So that one that wasn't ejected resulted in just being almost like it didn't exist yet. That's interesting. Anyway, this beautiful ship is a beast. It takes a beating. It's really kind of funny because it will actually take a little bit more beating than most ships. And the hull scraping is a very fun mechanic of the game. I like it personally a little bit more than mining. It seems like there's a little bit less finicky sciences involved, and you know, it just like mining, you just take a little bit of time to do the work and you get paid from it. It's kind of cool. I'm digging on it. So right now during the event, it looks like I could upgrade one of my smaller ships to this Vulture for about $105 because I've already paid $50 for one of my smaller ships. I bought them 2 Mural Furies, and I'm thinking this is going to be the beast I'm going to buy using that Mural Fury as an upgrade token. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you liked this video. Leave a like and a subscribe if you want to see more. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.